Come to the sales at Stoneborough Centre, Maidstone. On foot, by bus or by car. It's far easier to pop into Stoneborough for top value one-stop shopping in the heart of town. You'll enjoy the more relaxed, temperature-controlled atmosphere. There's more choice from your favourite stores. And
Par
there's
excellence. That's all I can say about Harlequins. In fact, that's why they've called it Harlequins Shopping Excellence. It's a select combination of shops selling men's, ladies' and children's fashions, furnishings, speciality gifts, health and beauty products, and to top it all, a unique food hall selling speciality foods, fine wines and spirits. In the excellent covered shopping surroundings with ample car parking, Harlequins is indeed shopping excellence. Harlequins, Paul Street, Exeter, adjoining the Guildhall Centre.
Hello there. Well, now we join Brian Walden for today's edition of Weekend World.
The best way to save petrol is not to drive. Next best way is not to drive fast. And don't go over 50. If we each save a little fuel, we'll all save a lot.
It seemed to me that a whole series of new connections was being made between, on the one hand, if you like, the manifest content that people perceived on their TV screens and in their news magazines and so on their cinema screens, and the latent content, what actually was happening when we looked at images of endlessly repeated of, say, the Kennedy assassination, or of Armstrong's first steps on the moon, of the Vietnam War, it seemed to me that the sort of Freudian distinction between the latent and manifest content of the dream had to be applied now to the world of so-called reality, if there was such a thing as reality.
The author, Dr. Nathan wrote, has found that the patient forms a distinctive type of object relation based on a perpetual and irresistible desire to merge with the object in an undifferentiated mass. Although psychoanalysis cannot reach the primary archaic mechanism of rapprochement, it can deal with the neurotic superstructure, guiding the patient towards the choice of stable and worthwhile objects. In the case under consideration, the previous career of the patient as a military pilot should be noted, and the unconscious role of thermonuclear weapons in bringing about the total fusion and non-differentiation of all matter. What the patient is reacting against is simply the phenomenology of the universe, the specific and independent existence of separate objects and events, however trivial and inoffensive these may seem. A spoon, for example, offends him by the mere fact of its existence in time and space. More than this, one could say that the precise, if largely random, configuration of atoms in the universe at any given moment, one never again to be repeated, seems to him to be preposterous by virtue of its unique identity. Dr. Nathan lowered his pen and looked down into the recreation garden. Traven was standing in the sunlight, raising and lowering his arms and legs in a private kinesthetic display, which he repeated several times, presumably an attempt to render time and events meaningless by replication.
Now a look at the history of Northern Ireland in Ulster landscapes.
That's awful, Diane. When did that happen? That was, I think, last Wednesday or Thursday, and it was in those awfully high winds. Remember all the stormy weather last week? So it was an incendiary device of some description. Fire started.
The whole thing's gone.
Well,
I don't remember hearing about that one.
A lot of people in Britain, you know, it all merges into one big long story for them. Apparently they set the incendiary near the paint store, you know, maximum effect. The whole thing went up.
How do people cope with their shopping? I don't imagine they window shop much, do they?
No. You're so right. If you have to come into the city centre, I mean, you wouldn't choose to come into the city centre for a day's outing. If you have to come into the city centre because you think you can only get something in a city centre shop,
quickly and get out
you
again.
go straight in and you go straight out again.
Can I put that down there? Come on, over here.
Yes. Thanks.
We are here to serve humanity, here to reaffirm gentility, light the way from fear to sanity, carefully promote tranquility.
are your friends.
Good morning, sir. Voice ident, please. Tracy, A786943. Good morning. Voice ident, please.
Good morning.
How can I help you, Mr. Tracy?
I just wondered what you thought of these new high-interest type of cards.
Your interest is paid quarterly.
I know what it does. I want to know if it's right for me.
£1 is equivalent to the margin. Voice ident.
Tracy, A786943.
Good morning, sir. Voice ident.
I just gave it to you, Tracy.
Could you repeat that?
I just want some advice.
Sorry, sir, but could you repeat that?
Morning, sir. Voice ident, please.
How can I help you?
I just want a little bit of advice. Should I invest in a new high-interest account?
Our investment services cover the following.
Look, I don't want to list. I just want some advice.
Are you worried that the more banks become automated, the less you'll get out of them?
Can I help you with anything? Please, take a seat. Do you want to know more about our higher rate deposit account?
At Barclays, our customer service program is retraining 50,000 staff.
It will startle your senses, challenge your intellect, and alter your perception of the future by taking you there. The human adventure is just beginning. Star Trek, the motion picture.
At the Empire Leicester Square and at a cinema near
Continued.
Captain Kirby, MI5, studied the prints. They showed 1. A thick-set man in an Air Force jacket, unshaven face half hidden by a dented hat peak. 2. A transverse section through the spinal level T12. 3. A crayon self-portrait by David Feary, 7-year-old schizophrenic at the Belmont Asylum, Sutton. 4. Radio spectra from the quasar CTA-102. 5. An antero-posterior radiograph of a skull, estimated capacity 1500 cc. 6. Spectroheliogram of the sun taken with K-line of calcium. 7. Left and right handprint showing massive scarring between second and third metacarpal bones. To Dr. Nathan he said, "And all these make up one picture?"
Tomorrow on BBC One, there's a new series of Captain Zepp, Space Detective.
Captain Zepp on Zepp 1, standing by for information receipt.
The president of Aquabita has just been assassinated.
Captain Zepp.
British Airways say they may delay their flights as America's Skylab space station falls to Earth in the next 36 hours. Some countries say they'll stop all their flights as Skylab comes down, but the chances of it hitting anyone are said to be very remote. Tonight's check on the 85 tons of Skylab shows that the Space Lab's less than 120 miles up and will fall out of the sky late tomorrow or early on Wednesday. Skylab's next close approach to Britain will be at 11:30 tomorrow morning. It'll cross the Scillies and Guernsey. Our science editor Peter Fairley assesses the chances of anyone being hit by Skylab.
If anyone sold you a hat to stop bits of Skylab falling on your head, and several thousand have been sold in America, you've probably wasted your money. The team of British scientists who've been tracking Skylab for ITN now predict it won't fall on Britain. There were fears that it might hit Cornwall, but its orbit now is taking it further south. But it will fall somewhere, because what goes up must come down. And according to the North American Air Defense Command, who are using computers to plot its descent second by second, 90% of the world's population, that's 4 billion people, are theoretically at risk. The dying moments of Skylab are expected to occur somewhere along a line 50 degrees either side of the equator. The 85-ton spaceship, the biggest thing ever put into space, will begin to disintegrate as it hits really thick air layers. The friction will build up until the whole thing has turned into a fireball. Two questions remain. What bits will reach the ground and survive re-entry, and will they hit anyone or anything? NASA tonight put the odds at 152 to 1 against, but nevertheless they've got lawyers standing by in case of mishaps and court claims. There are 8 bits which may reach the ground. 6 oxygen tanks weighing more than a ton each and made of titanium, 1 lead-lined film vault weighing nearly 2 tons, And the biggest piece of all, the fixed airlock shroud, 22 feet long, made of aluminium and weighing 2¼ tons. All these are likely to hit the Earth at 260 miles an hour. So what are the chances of it hitting land? Well, NASA has one card up its sleeve. The small manoeuvring engines aboard Skylab still have some fuel left in them, and in the final stages, if computers predict that the debris seems destined to land on populated regions, scientists at Houston will try to fire the whole lot together and push Skylab into an ocean. We won't know until the last 2 hours.
Yes, because I thought it was going to break up a little earlier than that, and probably would not reach Australia. It apparently flew longer than we expected, broke up at a slightly lower altitude, and we were surprised when we heard that there were sightings of Australia, because our last prediction that NORAD had made said it should have come down slightly before reaching Australia, and we were surprised when we got that input.
Why do you think it took longer to break up than you expected?
A lot of variables in the upper atmosphere and a lot of variations in the vehicle strength. The fact that if it breaks up at a lower altitude could very easily mean that the heat spike could have been greater, could have very probably indicate less pieces, less mass coming down, and would have also meant a smaller footprint if it came and broke up at lower altitude.
Are you satisfied? Can you be satisfied with the way this thing has ended?
I won't be satisfied until I wait 2 or 3 days and there's no report of any damage or injury anywhere. Then I would be satisfied.
We take it there'll be no more Skylabs or spacecraft making random re-entries after this?
There will be spacecraft making random entries after this. There's a lot flying today that will random re-enter. I question that a large manned spacecraft such as this would be built in this fashion today, because we would not build it this way because of the techniques are different.
And NASA's message to the people of Australia?
Well, if you saw it, I hope the sight was spectacular, and I hope no report of any damage or injuries anywhere.
Amstrad. Towers, Belt Drive, 3-band tuner. Continuous play. Middies. Five-band graphic equalizer, 129 pounds, 159 pounds, 149 pounds, 169 pounds, or less at these selected stores.
It's arrived! New Ultra Bright, with the brighter new taste. Take Lynn. New Ultra Bright made her smile so ultra white, ultra fresh. It got her noticed. That night, rugged racing driver Hugo Faster showed Lynn some superb handling. They've been making record time ever since. Try the brighter new taste of Ultra Bright. For a smile so ultra white, it gets you noticed.
Hello! If you're fast enough for Atari's missile command, just wait till you get your hands on Yar's Revenge and our latest new challenge, Berserk.
Here, you have a go. Oh, thanks. It's a pleasure.
Atari. Simply more fun and games.
There was this mother-in-law walking along the street, and she joined a bus queue and found that she was standing next to a nuclear scientist. And she said to the nuclear scientist, "Look, I'm very worried because I've been reading an article about the effect of radioactivity upon cabbages. Can you explain it to me?" And he said, "Well, certainly." He said, "The trouble with the cabbages is that you get the carts and the tempertonis murking the gluposes and overclolloping the mergelchuses. Vestavidas crisabonum partavisor crews together keep mood sliver the underpedity, so fourth frame shows data vision and auditory slow-reflection. Resonatory friction induces the corresponding blip mortalizers, but that all comes under Kroner's electroclineary sulfification, which you will underlie in acrovesical. Multicentric compulators superlace the deviating intermediary Lubbock, making contace, and together slip temperance and expendency. Reflection inertia corresponds to Geiger-Schnitt's and Hugo Faster's supercredity valence multiplicatorry equation. E equals 2R, where R is the radiance of a home measure of the valedictory factor. Finally, pervenary stems are hyperbolic and paraceltin. Reflector acidity overloses the homovesery and the heterovandal effect, so that neglectance of a man's atmospheric supercontraction causes stractamention of faction cowdity. So don't eat them.